Yeah, I think the big reason that I found it really useful was the structure of the day. The structure of the day was so important because when I first came here I thought about, well, that's great, I've expanded my subject knowledge, but how do I take that into the classroom? And the structure of the day was so helpful because you had the lecture and then you could reflect on it with your course leaders and the people around the room, and you would just bounce ideas off each other. And I can't underestimate the importance of your course leaders because they've got so many practical ideas and you learn so much from them that you really do need to communicate. Don't be embarrassed and think, oh, I won't speak to them because they know so much more than me about teaching. That's what they're there for. You need to speak to your course leaders in terms of getting those practical ideas. In history, I looked at images of monarchy because we were having a lecture on images of monarchy, and during the lecture I thought to myself, this could be really good with Year 7, because what my Year 7s were tending to do when they looked at historical sources, say a portrait of Henry VIII, was they would look at it as a whole, and they wouldn't look at certain aspects of the picture. So there's a famous portrait of Elizabeth I, and she's got a hand on the globe. So I used that because it was the start of British Empire and England being a real force in the world. So what I did is I started to cut up portraits into little pieces, and then what the Year 7s were realising is they could look at each little piece of the portrait and add some significance to each part of the portrait and then put it together as a whole, as a class. And that's completely changed the way I work with sources in my classes. I've started to use that higher up in school now with my Year 9 modern history class, and it's really, really successful. They're being far more analytical and not just taking everything at face value. I wouldn't say it's anything concrete. I'd say it's more my confidence, being able to discuss what I've learned at the PTI with my head of department or the head teacher, because our head teacher's a great advocate of the PTI. So I've discussed with her many times what I've learned and how I see myself in the history department going forward. So it's just that dialogue, knowing that coming on to these subject days on a Saturday does matter, and people do really care about what you are learning and how you're going to take that forward in the school.
I went into teaching because I really wanted to teach science, and when you are teaching, it's sometimes easy to lose that. You've got so many other things to do and so many other things are going on that actually really, sometimes you forget what you're meant to be doing. And actually, I did find it difficult during my NQT year, but after every one of the PTI sessions, it really reminded me that I was here, I was a teacher to teach science, and it really told me, this is why I love the subject and this is why I'm doing it. So I always went back into school feeling much more positive about being a teacher.